Hi, this is Gaurav Khatri, co-founder of Nice, wearable brand, which is not only leading the country, now in the global charts also. We are the number 4 ranked after the giants of the world in the Smartwatch. I became
Do you know which country is the biggest market for smartwatches in the world? If you guessed US or China, then you are wrong. In quarter 3 of 2022, India was the largest smartwatch market in the world. And in this episode of the Founder Thesis podcast, your host Akshay Datt is talking with Gaurav Khatri, the founder of the largest smartwatch company in India, Noise. India's massive smartwatch market is a result of innovative work done by companies like Noise, which are creating a truly made for India product that is a perfect mix of the right features and right pricing. The most amazing thing about Noise is that, unlike other large T2C startups in the consumer electronics industry, Noise has never raised any funds from investors. In this conversation, Gaurav talks about the journey of starting Noise by selling smartphone covers on e-commerce websites and the many ups and downs in their journey before reaching to a stage where they are doing almost 2,000 crore of annual revenue today. Stay tuned and subscribe to the Founder Thesis podcast on any audio streaming app to learn about the scaling up of your business without having to dilute your equity.
So I remember reaching out and telling that, yeah, this is what I feel. E-commerce is booming up. And we are people who are more influenced towards internet. And I'm very sure if I am the person who is very convinced with buying things online, tomorrow everybody will buy online also. Let it explore. And he's also a very extremely fast forward guy. He will attempt for things very quickly rather than looking for technology mature and then people using it. He was also very earlier like me. And I told KR, I really want to do something online and it's not very costly at this point of time. He said, okay, if you want to do it, you have the option. Why don't you start exploring things from here only? Why do you want to start from scratch? I think, oh, cool. So again, did not have enough money to probably directly start buying the gadgets. Thought, let's start experimenting in a way that, so जो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि Indian consumer is looking for this, the young consumer is looking for this. Is he really looking for this? And that's what when all the entire boom of the Chinese mobile phone brands were coming in, the Xiaomi were coming in and making a very big impact on online business. Flipkart was selling in 1 minute deal, selling lakhs of phones. So I realized कि यार देखो खरीद रहे हैं लोग online. And if phone of 40,000 or 20,000 rupees can sell, why can't we start selling the accessories around it first? Let's understand it. And I remember I told him that I want to start with accessories, and he was like, yeah, accessories, I'm not very sure. Still, if you want to do it, let's do it. And I just used his China contacts and his offices, figured out new suppliers for that. He was into entire fashion. I thought I have to figure out the supply chain separately, which I took the help from Chinese team and traveled myself to China a couple of times. I remember I got very small amount of cases, which will be less than 100 units. And for me,
which product did you decide?
So I started with cases and cover. I realized that kind of a category is not very exposed in online business at particular time. And it was used to be a complete market. Then I thought, chalo ek attempt marte hain, let's get some cases and cover. And I made them live. And fortunately, the moment I listed, everything got sold out in just 2 hours.
Wow.
The amount of 100 units only. That gave me confidence. Gaurav, your thinking probably is in the right direction. Consumer is also waiting for that. You understand the design, you understand your taste is probably fine. Why not to give it a attempt? I came up with one model.
And these were like with a Noise branding on it. The case had a Noise branding, or at this stage?
The first lot did not have anything. यार इतना नहीं पता था ना पहली बार जब कर रहे don't realize logo लगवाना कैसे है करना कैसे है. For me, it was always important to choose speed, right? I really wanted to do it quickly. I didn't want to think too much on one of thought, and before the thought, before you realize that whether this thought is good or bad, someone else will come and take the market, right? So I just thought, let's quickly do it. If it works, then we will expand it in we'll double click and we'll get into more details. Touch wood, it worked, right? I realized it's a thing that should work. We figured out how do I source more products, immediately got into more details, started visiting China very frequently, and quickly sourced from one model. In a 6-8 months time, I ensured that all models that are selling online, offline, I should have accessories for them. I probably, there was a speed that helped me in my early days. Also the agility, right? You don't have a too big team. You have people, whatever decision you want to take, you can just take quickly. And that's how the journey of selling things online started. Also gave a lot of confidence to me to understand, yes, what Indian consumer is thinking.
So what were your learnings from selling cases and covers? You must have got some understanding of how to sell, of what is the demand for the market. Tell me those learnings.
More than demand, one thing that I realized was that the moment you become successful in something, there are 500 people sitting with you to go and kill you and cut the prices. And I was 23 or 22 and a half, 23-year-old person that time, and you're getting success early, your early attempts. And I was really shattered the moment I got to know that the things that I'm sourcing is now everybody sourcing.
That's and when was this?
This is
when you realized?
First 6-7 months only.
6-7 months. And in 6-7 months, what sales were you doing? Like how many cases or like units?
I don't remember exactly, but they were like more than 3,000-5,000 units a month, a number 100 units a day. And I was just trying to replicate my model to n number of models that were selling online. One thing that I realized, like you said, what was your learning? My learning was that if you want to execute things where you don't have, when you don't have a control of design or technology, you should do it quickly. And second, that if you are not controlling the design, if you are not controlling technology, and if you're not controlling anything in the product, then you're going to get copied by anyone so easily. Someone with bigger money will come in and start killing you, and you will just die in 6-8 months' time. And then I learned in my first attempt of selling cases and covers. Then I realized,
did you see your sales dropping then, like after 6-7 months when people started copying?
It was not growing the way it was growing in first 6 months. So if I was growing more than 100% month on month, I stopped growing 100% month on month. Then I realized, you have to get a differentiation again. And I knew the differentiation that I can bring was through the technology, to bring products which have some technology, hardware, software, SOPs around, rather than just doing a basic case and cover, honestly.
That's like a trading business, basically, not like you're just importing.
Yeah. Honestly, it was importing. The question that you asked, आपने import करके चालू क्यों नहीं किया? Technically not selling it to narrow place, but figuring out. So it was my learning to understand online business. मतलब ये समझ आ गया कि the consumer is there, and we were getting orders all over the country. It was not that only metros, right? In that time also, we were getting orders from marketplace, gives you all that information, kahan se order aa raha hai, uska location kya hai. So we used to understand, shit man, everybody is buying it. So there's a market. Let's double click quickly. And realize ki, see, today I understand cases and cover. I don't understand technology that much. Let's build a team. Let's build a team two ways. One, which is for the current business. One is for the future. And the team that will work for technology and the hardware, software kind of a team, come back to that later. But yeah, I started building the team, knobs, things like that. So वो सब काम करना चालू किया. It was very difficult for me to even build a team, because उस समय किसी को बोलते थे कि online करते हैं, तो people used to not understand what is online. Like even my friends never understood कि यार, what do you do online? There is no customer coming to your store. There's no physical thing. How can you sell things?
But you were earning enough to pay salaries?
So there were not much salaries. I was not withdrawing much. I had to just hire 2-3 people, one on probably someone who's helping me list and managing the quantity, someone is helping me to just managing the warehouse, or maybe not the warehouse, but the ops of the warehouse. So kuch nahi tha, there was a room from where we started. Yeah, then I started traveling, going.
And this was like does your inventory lie in the warehouse of Flipkart and Amazon? Or,
No.
Or they would send a courier who would pick up and...
No. They used to send their team who would pick your stuff every day. So this is the typical marketplace business that used to be there. We used to run it. parallelly, I thought, yeah, this way it'll be very easy for someone to copy the business. Let's double click on cases and cover and understand more in detail. That's when I started thinking around if we do customized and printed cases and cover, more design. The design can be controlled by you, where you are manufacturing it. It'll be difficult for someone to copy the design and get the manufacturing, because India still behaves very fairly on trading mindset. Nobody wants to spend energy and time and effort to start printing cases and cover. So that's what I thought, okay, let's start doing that. And fortunately, there also we got good success, because it was very easy for you to increase the not the bandwidth, but the product width, right? You can 10 designs or maybe 100 designs, 100 covers, you have a width of 10,000 SKUs, right? So that's what the entire marketplaces were probably built on. If you just go and search cases and cover, you find noise cases and cover. It's when we started doing printed cases and cover and made a lot of mistakes there as well in the early days of यार बन नहीं रहा है, machine खराब हो रही है, figuring out.
Acha, you were printing in India. You were not importing it
Yeah,
after getting it printed.
Yeah, there's no point. No? The moment if I start sourcing everything from China, it's very easy for somebody to copy. Right? Yeah, everyone will. I thought the one learning that I was, you have to have control on things. If you don't have control on your design, if you don't have control on your manufacturing or anything, you are going to get copied very easily. यहाँ को रेडीमेड सॉल्यूशन चाहिए एंड एवरीबॉडी विल जस्ट कम एंड अरे ये प्रोडक्ट दिख रहा है, ये डिजाइन उठाओ, कल से चाइना से आपको दे रहा है वो आप, मैं भी उससे जाके ले लूंगा एंड एवरीबॉडी. It's when I decided कि यार I really want to do it myself. I don't want to be dependent on someone. Fortunately, things started working well and we started doing more than 1,000 orders a day from marketplaces. And then we decided let's now create a handout rather than just being selling cases and cover. And we started building noise and realized that while selling it to marketplaces, we realized यार consumer से connection नहीं है. I don't know what do I do tomorrow. How do I solve or how do I become better for him tomorrow? It's then, and Amit suggested, let's start building your business. And he was also inclined towards now. He was like, he was seeing growth. He has subsidiary बढ़िया हो रही है. And I started pushing him in this business. And it's then when we started thinking about doing our own website. When you start something new, you make a number of mistakes. You don't know how to build a website. There are not good companies who are helping you to build the website. Started building it on Magento, scrapped it. Started building a website on platform, scrapped it. And then somehow we figured out to work on Shopify, and it's then some help and some relief was there. At least the stability of website is there. The transaction happens smoothly, and we started building up on our own website because we really want to understand the consumer. The marketplace, you don't want to own a consumer.
Yeah, you don't get much of customer data.
You only get their name, you only get their address. What do you do with beyond that? You now know that there is a consumer sitting in all the cities, and Instagram was doing pretty well. Facebook was booming up. There were not many marketeers on those platforms. We thought now is the time when we can utilize these time in our early days. We started building up a lot on our own website. Quickly, we started doing bigger numbers on our own website than marketplaces. And fortunately, things started working in the way that we wanted to do.
How were you managing the logistics of it? Did you have these, say, Shiprocket is a logistics aggregator?
I always used to tell somebody that now somebody asked me, how do you used to manage it? I used to tell कि यार डेट में D2C website खड़ा करना सबसे आसान काम है. You have plugins for everything. You just out there are n number of companies helping you out in logistics, retention, and CRM and website. So nobody need to make mistakes around building a website on ABC platforms and then scrapping out. There's ready tools available. In 3 days, your website is up and running. I remember going to Blue Dart, asking them that I wanted to open an account. They were not so big in D2C. They were not so big in D2C kind of a shipment. I had a very big time struggle figuring out how should I work.
Yeah. Delivery, I think, would have just started around that time.
सब लोग ने start किया था and everybody was focusing on the giants. They were solving the problems for Amazon, Flipkart and the bigger e-commerce portals. उस समय दुनिया भर के e-commerce portal आ रहे थे, जा रहे थे. So nobody used to help a small website. And yeah, it was a tough time. tried and getting all the logistics partner possible to engage with us. You won't believe, without APIs also, we did a lot of shipping through India Post. We used to send the packet, but never used to reach to the consumer a lot of time. The COD was a big problem. But yeah, fortunately, the ecosystem was growing till 2016, 17. The thing started maturing. Delivery had their tools ready. FedEx, who used to be very big part at that time, had some international solutions ready. So yeah, we made a lot of mistakes or wasted a lot of time in terms of getting those integrated. Fortunately, we picked up one logistics partner. We thought, ki, let's build with them properly, and then instead of going and getting the APIs and plugins ready for everyone, it's better to choose one and retail with them. And honestly, for early days, we worked with Blue Dart and still continues to work very heavily with them because of the speed and the. Now, though, I think everybody is doing pretty well already. So I remember then the problem was to solving and sharing the updates to the consumer की खरीद लिया, अब updates नहीं मिल रहे हैं, SMS नहीं मिल रहे हैं, WhatsApp नहीं मिल रहे हैं. So dependent on international software, pay a lot of amount there. Yeah, time, I think the problems were getting solved also. And I think 2-3 years, everything got solved at least in 2C ecosystem. So not very, I would, yeah, it was challenging. It is not easy how it is now. It was not easy how it is now. I think with time we could solve. So it was not that people were not entertaining us, because now we've started doing 1,000-1,500 cases a day from website. People used to accept it. Yeah, oh, who is doing this? How many brands, individual brands are selling that much units from their own website? So some early support from.
And how are you generating traffic? Like through Facebook advertising and all?
Facebook was primary. Facebook, Insta, I think those two. Google was also there, but we were not using very extensively in early days. We started doing it in the phase manner. But yeah, I think we use those platform more. YouTube तो होता नहीं था उस समय, but हाँ, primarily these channels were there.
Okay, amazing. And you also had a warehouse or something because you were printing it in-house. So you needed a place for the printing machine. And
we took a basement where we installed the machine. The first machine came to our apartment, not apartment, so it used to be house. And we installed the machine. So subah uth ke, I used to quickly go and start printing myself. And then we hired a couple of guys to print. कभी ना कभी कुछ ना कुछ चलते रहते थे लाइफ में. Somebody is not coming. Now orders have come. Person is not there to print. You have to get involved and print things like this. In early days, it used to be difficult, but with time, I think because Amit was a very seasoned entrepreneur, he was running his own business, and he always pushed me to keep finding the team and build the team around it. And for me, it was there. I think we made lesser mistakes in terms of not hiring. We used to hire. We have hired wrong people. That's a separate issue, but he always pushed me and guided me towards building the team and the how it helps anybody to grow the business faster. If you just be doing things, and it's very difficult to do it faster. Then beyond a point, it just become very difficult to replicate things. That way, that help I got from Amit, and Amit then started helping the team and things like that. Yeah, so we then rented a small basement where we installed one machine. Then we got a lot of orders. We installed 2 machines, 3 machines, and we were fairly generating revenue, making money. We did not require a lot of debts to buy machine and things like that. So fortunately, things were going in a good direction. Yeah.
so when did you like grow the product range, like from beyond cases and covers?
Till 2014 to 16, I would say we were heavily dependent on cases and cover. But in addition to, like I said in initial, we were building team for futuristic categories and products. Parallel to that, we attempted for other accessories also, which were cables, charger, things like that. And I realized that boss, the e-commerce market is now mature. In 2 years, there are n number of brands, or there are some seasoned global brands which are there in these categories. And it's very difficult to move them, right? So what the product that we want to do, first, it should be futuristic. It should be relatable to the consumer that we are talking in noise. It should be the product for the early adopters. It is the product for people who understand the use of these technology, and there should be part of lifestyle which can be replicated to the masses of country. That was the idea of deciding a category. And I remember 2016 time when we started building on technology product. We started working around on wearables, which is divided further into smartwatches and hearable products. We started working towards them a lot, understood a lot from the global markets, how is it trending there. At that particular time, there was no adoption. Nobody was buying smartwatches. Nobody knew what smartwatches are and how they will help. I used to feel it's a fad. It's when I started getting into more details of hardware, software. So for 2 years, from 2016 to 18, we started figuring out this category because we felt that this category gonna be a very, very strong future. One that global trends are showing that it will be a category which will allow you to control things beyond just watching time or notification.
But by that time, Apple Watch was already there as proof of concept.
So Apple Watch was there, and only successful product was Apple Watch or a Fitbit. Those two brands were doing well, and Fitbit was honestly not doing well. It was, at one side, it was demotivating for us to go and prove this concept will work. So yeah, for 2 years, we did a lot of hard work around understanding the technology, hitting the products, because we knew that we don't want to just replicate the products from China. We were very sure that we don't want to make a mistake that we have made in early days, that product needs to be yours, the design needs to be yours. You need to have some control on the technology. Maybe it's not the day one, you don't control everything, but some sense of it. Your thought process should be there. Building it for future, the brand needs to build on these categories. So we heavily invested on people that particular time. We started working on design, started working on UI, UX, we started working on the software part, started meeting a lot of global giants who were making these technologies. For 2 years, we did that. A lot of trials we did.
You wanted to design the OS for the watch in-house, is it? Like the operating system, or you wanted like but why not just go with something off the shelf like Wear OS or Samsung uses their own, like Tizen
now
something.
Samsung used to use their own. OS used to be in a couple of brands like Motorola and things like that. So where Google was also figuring out how to solve it. So idea was to build your things, everything by yourself. But you don't get everything off the shelf day one also. Get things off the shelf, but you don't get the capabilities in-house on day one. So when we built our own website, it allowed us to do some quick trials with the products that we were conceptualizing. We launched our first product 2016 and types or early 16. I don't remember the exact date. Where we listed the product on our website, doing marketing, sold it to the consumer. The moment it used to get delivered to the consumer, I used to pick up the phone and call them. But how do you like it? What is your thought? What do you want to do with the product? What are the beyond? Why did you buy this? What are the features that you use more? Because I did not have my own app that particular time. So I did not have a lot of information on what consumer is using actually.
How would a watch work without the app then? It would send some data, right?
I used to work with OEMs app where we worked with them. So co-created app data used to still be with the OEMs at particular time. So yeah.
And about the first watch, what features did it have? And
so it did not have heart rate. It used to just give you the pedometer. It used to give you the call notification. That's it. These two features it used to come. Pedometer ke base pe it used to also calculate the kilometers and calories. But yeah, these two things that we launched in 2010 and types, and we realized yeah, we need to work on few of the areas that are lacking at this particular time. Started building the product from scratch. We thought at that particular time, all the watches used to be black and white. They did not to be colored watches. We thought, let's start designing a watch which is colored display, which comes with right set of features which are in the global market other than the China. We started building, came up with our first product in 2018 as Color Fit Pro. And so two products we came up with. First, we came up with the Smart Band, which was Color Fit Smart, which had a colored display to give you the pedometer used to give you information around the notification and things like that. Used to time, Chinese brand used to have a very big market share in India. They used to lead it like 95% used to be just one brand used to lead it.
And there's Xiaomi had that band, I think, which was very popular.
Yeah. We started building ourselves, and they were into black screen. We were into colored screen. They used to come with extra app. We were more lifestyle. We had more options of colors. People started buying it. People started loving the color. People started loving the design, UI, UX. And we realized, see, if control things by yourself takes time, 2.5 years for us to come up with that, but getting very good response. People used to share the feedback. Again, what we used to do in early days, we used to just call people. Now we had our own app with consumer. We started speaking to consumer, understanding what are they using, what are the features that we need to promote or probably work more on. And it's then it came up the first watch, which is the name of Cockpit Pro, did again phenomenally well. And then again, we just kept ourselves very close to the consumer. One thing that we did not leave ever in this journey was the speaking to the consumer. We kept communication consumer very high. We still do a lot of focus group discussion with consumer, or at least 2-3 times in a month, where we ask consumer to come on Zoom call or a physical meeting where we will discuss with them. Why did you buy? What are the features that you're looking at? Where do you want us to improve? What are things that you miss in product? And we used to then implement and co-create the products with them. And I think back then, a lot of products that we have launched and the journey is in.
How did you fund the investment in this? Because to build your own app means you would need a good sized tech team.
I would not deny we took a lot of help from our OEMs initial day to create it. Plus, we wasted a lot of money in terms of building it in-house also. 2 or 3 apps that tried creating by ourselves, could not the best output from them, wasted them. Coming back to the fund side, honestly, we were doing very little investment, going very slow, right? We came up with first 1,000 pieces, sold them, whatever we made out of that, we re-implemented and optimized it for the next level, use some small bets in terms of buying the inventories. The first couple of years, or probably first 3 years, was the time, and in fact today also. We used to launch it, we used to get out of stock, we used to for a month and buy next time. So we had a huge issues with our managing the entire cash flow in early days. The kind of response we started getting was phenomenal. The people used to love our product. People started, the effect of, the word of mouth was huge. Without doing marketing, also started getting the first 5,300 orders just like that. And we used to early in our own websites, everything, so that we can get real-time feedback them. Also, we did not have too much money to buy those 10,000, 15,000 units, to sell it on different platforms and back and things. We chose our website as a phase 1 to sell the product. So
how much revenue overall were you doing by this time, like 2018? Like with cases and so essentially there were 2 lives.
Cases and cover we stopped in 16, 17 now. 17 tak humne chhod diya tha. 17 we started pivoting towards gadgets. I remember visiting Amazon, Flipkart, telling them that this is a category that I want to get in. People used to just feel that this is a fad, this category will not last, the global giants will kill you, things like that. So always was a little demotivating for us to take the bigger decisions. But yeah, we kept our decision small in initial days because of multiple reasons. One, of course, there was no one to motivate us. Plus, there was a capital constraint also. But yeah, I think the moment we start seeing some traction on our website, we started implementing it to the marketplaces also. That's when I think post 2018, we started building a lot on our website, plus marketplaces. Coming to the revenue side, I think 2018 should be what? Must be around 100, 150 kind of a revenue that we started doing using marketplace.
150 crores. Wow. That's massive. The name Noise, you lost the Noise as a brand after you got into Hearables, or was it?
No.
Okay. So even for cases.
Cases and Gaurav kept it Noise. So idea was that, like I said in my earlier chat, it was always people telling you do this, do that, do this, do that. So I always had a lot of noise around. I really wanted to listen to my noise within, because I also have a lot of thought inside me, right? I had a lot of different ideas going in my mind, different thoughts going in my mind. So there is a noise within also. but listen to your noise is what the idea was. And hence we kept noise as a name. Again, it was very quirky name. It was young, dynamic name. All those positive sides are also there. The kind of audience that we wanted to get was all understand or relate with the word noise, right? So the name in early days only. But yeah, so coming back to 2018, that's when we started building up wearables and hearables in a big way.
And which was selling more, wearables or hearables?
I think both initial days we were selling both on a good term. Again, we had capital constraints, so it was always जितना stock लाओगे उतना ही बेच पाओगे. We were not deciding how much we want to sell. We were only deciding this is a capital, this is what we can bring, but so afford to sell. And
but
so, yeah.
why didn't you consider funding? Like at 50 crores of revenue, you can raise funds, right? You have established product market fit. You've crossed that 0 to 1 journey.
Multiple reasons. One, that there were no D2C websites, right? There were no D2C brands. So probably investor community also did not believe a lot in the early days. Plus the categories that we are in had a lot of questions in investors or overall ecosystem in mind that, yeah, ये तो a global giant will come and take it away.
Like Samsung and all of these can easily
or JBL
eliminate you.
Xiaomi, and they can eliminate because it was all the Indian brands were dying at that particular time in mobile.
Like Micromax became irrelevant.
All those brands were dying and facing a big heat from the global brands. And how would they even believe in a technology which is an accessory or I'm not very different, but yeah, attachment to the mobile accessory. So people thought
basically people didn't believe that India से like accessories का brand बन सकता है, like electronics का brand बन सकता है. Okay. But you met investors, like you tried.
See, we did. So at this 2 points that I mentioned were that. And third, we also did not had a lot of understanding how to build it in early days. So we were also learning. We used to feel यार funding तो सिर्फ बड़ी कंपनियों के लिए होती है. Or there was no prior experience, or there's no history. There are no friends who have been doing it. For us, it was learn by yourself and implement it. So not many people were there to guide us in early days, but fortunately we were making almost positive beta. So we could just keep funding our profits for the next level of growth, and things were pretty fine. When we started, nobody cared 50 crore करेंगे. For us, that particular was also fine that what we are doing. Plus, not much competition was there, so never felt to raise it in that early day stage. And so whatever we were doing, I think the adoption of the technology and the category was going up very high. People started realizing that all the devices, whether it is hearables or wearables, are going to be a strong part of lifestyle. We were there from day one. We had our own learning when there was no consumer who was buying those products. We had our own learnings there and quickly implemented learning into the new product cycle. We had duration, better timelines to bring new product than probably the global giants. We were agile enough. We knew what kind of technologies are changing. So for us to replicate and create products for each individual, I would say use case was much faster than anybody else. And that helped us in terms of bringing and creating a portfolio. And it's when now I started seeing good traction because, for example, in hearables, we used to have the earbuds for a runner separately. We used to have it for gym goers separately. We used to have for a working person separately, just for entertainment separately. So we created different use cases, started solving for different.
You were only selling truly wireless earbuds. You were not selling the other types.
We were very clear. We don't want to do a product which is a commodity. We don't want to do a product where I cannot bring any innovation. I cannot create differentiation in the market. Wired, Sari Dunya was selling wired, right? First, it is a very low product. It does not allow you to sell online so easily, at least on your own website, because we were heavily dependent on our website, right? 200, 300 rupees selling on your own website, where now the market has started using social media, CACs were going up. It was not very easy for anybody to start selling things on a website of 200, 300 rupees. The product should be futuristic. Product should be differentiated in terms of the offering or the feature set that it brings to the consumer. Marketable. Tomorrow, if I bring a wired headphone, I'm not able to differentiate from any other brand that is available already. When you have limited budget, you have to choose what do you want to do, where can you get this? So we chose that
You
path.
wanted to focus on the high margin areas of the market rather than low margin.
I would not say margin was a priority, but it was that where I can market it. There is no differentiation that I can communicate in my marketing. There's no point of doing that product. So yeah, 2018 to now 19, we almost.
One question first. How did you get the supply in place? Because obviously these like truly wireless earbuds are not manufactured in India. So like, how did you set up the supply chain for it? And how did you get it to India at a price which was cheaper than what Chinese companies were selling at, or equal to what Chinese companies were selling at?
So I'll tell you, number one, that we were not the cheapest in the market, right? We were a little different in the market. Our USP was our design. Our USP was how we are relating our product to the young Gen Z or millennial, were able to communicate well. That was our USP. And we were not selling the way giants were selling, right? For us to replicate the supply chain, I think, like I said, 2016 to 2018 was a 2 year where we dedicatedly worked in China. We worked in Taiwan, countries like that, met a lot of partners, how it is getting created, what is the differentiation that can create in our product, how do. So that 2 years gave us an access or extra room to speed up the process in 2018 to 20 till date, where bring product faster than any year. I think we spent huge time traveling, understanding the things.
Can you share your learnings of sourcing from China? What is the way in which you identify a vendor? What is the way in which you negotiate a contract? What things does one need to be careful about? What are the pitfalls there?
See, for us, it was still a little easy because Amit had his own office. So going to these countries was very easy for me to travel and speak. And
You had a network that you could tap into, basically.
So I did not had a network. I did not have a network, but I had access to that network. I could go probably an exhibition and see what is happening. I used to, this I have not told. When I used to go in my early days, I was struggling and finding out job in aviation. I used to go and just go in exhibition and see what is happening. What are the new products that are coming in, how the people are selling things and X, Y, Z. So it allowed me to probably understand the easiest way to connect to the OEMs and ODM. Plus,
OEM and ODM, what is the difference, OEM and ODM?
I'll give you the detailed one in the end, probably. But,
Okay.
so OEMs are probably where the products can be picked up from. They create the product, and they ODMs. So ODM are those where the supplier creates the product. You pick up an off the shelf and start selling it and co-brand it. Your logo. OEMs where you sit with the supplier and design, co-create the product with them, those exclusive you and start. So I started meeting those people, and probably Amit had a very strong hold in China because of his experiences, and that's how it did.
Okay. And like, how does the contract get negotiated? Is there like a minimum order size you need to give them? Because they would do custom built product for you. How do you protect your intellectual property that the design is not copied by other people and so on? Tell me about some of those challenges.
Of course, MOQs used to be the challenges. Negotiating for the quantity used to be challenges. But so Amit used to lead it, most of it, because I was not very active part of it. But what I know I can tell you is that we used to sit with them, whatever designs they were already creating, we used to sit with them, figure out some small changes to little differentiated from them, because our design sense probably was a little better than what these people were doing. And we used to take the feedback from our consumers at what kind of a design they want, and used to just go and make some small changes in initial days and bring them. Yeah. So that's how we started doing it. Yeah, negotiation is something that comes in the DNA of Amit. I think the way he has run his also, he knew how to manage that. And I think by 2018-19, I started more willing myself into the marketing and sales side of it, and the Indian ops side of it, where I was taking a lot of help from Amit to lead the product side and technology side from him. We started leading that, and I started leading myself towards the sales. And
Okay, got it. Okay. Okay. And what percentage of your sales was from your own website?
In which year?
Like 18, 19?
Yeah, I think we used to do more than 40, 45. 40% of number used to come from our own website. At that particular time, probably e-commerce, there were 3-4 players who used to give the sales. So that used to be there each 20%, 20, 30%, 30% from the card and 4-5% from other channels, like 25-30% from Amazon. So around that. That used to be the number. And yeah. So 2019 was a time I think we doubled up ourselves from 2018 and 2.5x of 2018. And
Like you did about 100 plus year of top line.
I think I would say then 3x, yeah. Technically 3x of around 50, 60 CR we used to do, and we reached to 150 CR for number because we started getting well to the marketplaces also. Now those marketplaces, we used to think that we are doing the products which are fat, are not get absorbed. They started reaching out to us. We want to promote you, we want to help you out and things like that. So early help from them also, and started building our brand on the marketplaces also. So I think 2018, 19 also got over, then COVID hit, and that time when the adoption of both the technologies, whether it is hearables and wearables, was just going out of the roof. Everybody realized the importance of health, hence the importance of smartwatches, where our smartwatches were giving the most asked feature, which was monitoring your SpO2. So we just started picking up that, and kind of growth that we thought that we will get in 2 years' time, we just got it in 1 year, or probably less than that. The biggest challenge for us that particular time was also to fulfill the inventories, right? We were getting orders all over the corner, but we did not have enough inventories to fulfill because of the cash flows.
You did consider raising debt?
Yeah, so we were taking small debts from banks. Not again, it was because we were fairly EBITDA positive. We were doing business slowly, gradually, fine, and
The banks were comfortable lending.
able giving it to you in early days. So yeah, that's how we took help from them. And for 1.5 years, now the access to China or traveling to the international was completely off.
Your supply chain didn't get hit because of COVID
Of course, it
lockdown?
got hit. Yeah, it did get hit, but fortunately, it got hit for everyone. It was not only the noise who got hit; it was all the global players also who got hit. But yeah, the understanding and the learning that we had for last 4-5 years in the category allowed us to probably be more fast than anybody else. So I think we doubled down on portfolio. We kept building our own portfolio for another year, and we again doubled up our.
What all did you add to the portfolio? Tell me the portfolio evolution.
I'll tell you. So 2018-19, we had only 2 products in watches and 1.5-2 products in hearables, and we started increasing our hearables. We were only doing the premium range. We started doubling down on more, I would say, affordable prices. Also solving for more use cases. Like I said before, got specific truly wireless, which were excellent for only the calling quality, right? The calling quality would be the best in the industry. Everybody was now doing work from home. Everybody wanted that kind of feature, right? Quickly build that kind of a product. And of course, both the categories were advancing towards the next set of technologies, and the changes in the technology was also coming very quickly. So for us, for an example, the first edition of watch did not have heart rate. Then the heart rate came in. Then 2 SKUs now, one with heart rate, another without heart rate. Then SPO2, one with heart rate, another one without with SPO2. Then fourth would be with other features, a different set of screens and sizes and things like that. The technology was also advancing very quickly, and probably that also helped us in terms of increasing the portfolio. Plus, website and the feedback that we were getting on apps also allowed us to figure out use cases specific products and things around that. I think again for another year we doubled down on our numbers. We crossed more than 350 crores net revenue and positive. And now the brand was doing fine. And since 2019 probably we started be the India's most selling smartwatch brand. And I think we are already crossed 8 quarters in a row that we are the selling brand in the smartwatch category.
Wow. Okay. And you said you're globally at number 4 position. So that you're saying like,
Yeah. So overall, so using only India market, we are the 4th highest selling smartwatch brand in the world now.
wow, amazing.
Very interesting fact is also that, US, China, they are extremely highly penetrated in smart wearables market, where their penetration versus a smartphone is almost 15% or north of 15%. So one of the countries also north of 20%. Whereas India till last year was only 2%. So only 2% of the smartphone users were holding or have bought a smartwatch. Which
There is
the
a lot of headroom.
there's a huge headroom that is available, and of course the category now has stabilized, and at least now people realize and accept there are use cases for it. It is important, not just from the perspective of health, but more perspective of productivity. You can control a lot of notifications on phones, buy back to your messages, and the future is very strong when a lot of other things can be controlled. We expect your appliances, your home lights, your cars probably get controlled at least from the watch. Plus, the health got a very big share. There's nothing that has happened in health so far, and there's huge headroom that is available. And the way the world is going gung-ho about health as an ecosystem, this devices will just nail it, and they will be the love center they will be a center point for the entire personal gadgets, devices ecosystem.
Tell me something. What makes Noise the largest selling smartwatch brand in India? Is it what's the secret? Is it like pricing? Is it product variants? Is it like what is it? Or is it that you have your own website also? So the channel strategy or
Yeah, a lot of things. I would not say one. So if I have to tell what all things, one, of course, the portfolio that we have built and the kind of capability in-house that we have built. We control our own app, which is now downloaded more than 500,000. Sorry, more than 5 million and rated 4.4, number one app in health and fitness category. And so all those features are not there with anybody. Up any global giant also, nobody is controlling the now center. So in our early days only, I think
so this app helps grow your sales because then customers do recommendations and like the word of mouth comes in from this.
So that is second part. The first part is that connection, the connectivity, the UI UX control, which that Noise can offer probably is not there with anybody else. The kind of learning that we had in building this in early age has allowed us ourselves very ahead in the system. Plus, it gives huge customer data. It allows us to understand on what is the feature set that we should be double clicking. For an example, in a sports mode in a watch, if you're playing badminton, you're doing hiking, mountaineering, blah, 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 blah. The world is saying that I have 150, 200, 500 sports mode, but how many of them getting used in the country?
That's true. Yeah.
80% of the people using smartwatch are currently only sticking towards walk. And what is the point of telling that you have 500 watts? Somebody is using that insight. And who owns the ecosystem can only do it. We could double click very well than the probably global giants.
So you figured out that most people want data around walking, and so you were able to focus on making walking good instead of trying to make hundreds of sports modes.
Okay. We focus on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products rather than going gung-ho about or just picking up any random thing for the marketing. We wanted our algorithm to be best in those. So our accuracies are, I'm happy to say that we are the best in class. We are nothing less than anybody else in comparison to the giant. The second thing that has helped us is, of course, the having the agility to create the products very fast, other than the consumer centricity or the consumer ecosystem that we had. So number 2, number 3, of course, in the early days when we were the early ones to get into this technology, also gave us a lot of headroom in terms of creating or penetrating towards the supply chain. Now the brand Noise is the alpha partners with the technology manufacturers across.
What does this word mean, alpha partner?
An example, so I'll give you There's another thing that we are doing called noise labs. I'll come back to that later, but just to give you in advance. So truly wireless technology, the entire wireless Bluetooth technology was innovated by a brand called Bragi, which is a German innovators, which are now the partners with Noise. We are the exclusive partners making truly wireless earphones much more advanced than how they are seen today. So that bandwidth or that capability to partner with such technology partners allowed us to be a little advanced in terms of, what do I say? Hmm, in
So
terms
you
of
could
creating,
differentiate.
yeah, we differentiate faster. We had the information faster. We knew how the trends are going to change, what all things that we need to do, rather than holding ourselves on the old technology. How do we quickly move on the new technology? Those all informations were there very much in advance than anybody who's just straight, right? So I think these are the few things that has helped us in terms of creating right noise in the market, and the most loud brand also today. And it's just helping us.
What does Noise Labs do?
This is new arm that we have created in business, which is technology incubators. So we are trying to create new set of technologies, and which are probably the first time experience to the masses of the country. So we are trying to collaborate and work very closely with either young startup, colleges, or global giants, not global technology innovators, to create more futuristic products. So we have recently launched our first product under this concept, which is earwear, which is smart earwear, which is I1. We've got very limited edition, which is now allowing you to just use your glasses as the earphone. You can take things like that. We are working on next set of a product.
So this works on that bone conductivity technology.
Not bone conductivity. This is not bone conductivity. This is more of a normal connectivity like any other device, made in a way that it does not spread the sound outside. It just puts to your ears.
So you're selling the frames and people can put glasses of their choice on the frames.
You can put your lens. We give one Blu-ray protected transparent glass. We also give the black glass in that, and it also allows you to put your lenses, your numbers, or whatever you want. You can do it. So the concept of doing this is that we want to really try more interesting products, which are not in the market today and which could be future tomorrow. So we want to prepare ourselves for next set of innovation that come. And really the idea is now to create the innovation in-house. So far we have been buying technology from outside. We are co-creating with other players. Why not India can create it? So the idea of this labs is to start innovating, start creating technology at ground level, and distributing to the world.
So far, how does your technology get created? Like the supplier in China whom you work with, they offer you that, or you have like R&D labs who give you the technology?
So now Noise holds the R&D. Now Noise holds the R&D. Now Noise holds the industrial designing team, the tech team. And a lot of things are still shared. I would not deny that as well.
So we shared with the manufacturer. You work with other design labs.
So we are working with directly design labs, design houses. We are co-creating the products with them. We go up with our ask that this is what we want to create. This is what our idea is. We create with them because they are the partners who are extremely connected to the direct technology manufacturers. So yeah, coming back to that, I think we are co-creating with them. For an example, the smartwatches has 4 or 5 different things that one need to control. One is the industrial designing or the design of the product, which is now being controlled by Noise. Then there is app ecosystem, which is now controlled by Noise. There is UI UX of the software is being controlled by Noise. There is operating system that is not being controlled by Noise. We are already building a team around it and to create an entire OS by ourselves. That will. Number 5 is the algorithm of whatever feature set that we're using. All that is the health algorithms are not being owned by us at this point in time, but again, co-create someone in the industry who are the expert in the industry. We're creating with them. And will be futuristically owned by us very quickly. So I think we are working on that direction. The idea is to then start creating the technology from the scratch. Of course, there will be a lot of things that you will take help from different, because not one person or one company can own 100%. Of course, we will be using all the giants that so far, yeah, whatever possible things that we are trying to do, just making it.
So the algorithms would, so for example, be able to convert movement, like if the watch is moving up and down, they would be able to convert it into a step count, or they would be able to convert it into a calorie consumption count, like calorie burning. Okay.
Everything. So we see you are stuck at this point of time with only the calories and steps. Tomorrow, the fluctuation in your heart rate also will allow you to tell you the early symptoms of any of the disease that are there. We are working on towards that. You don't matter the salt thing. 10 kadam upar niche kisi ka hoga, nothing gonna change in life, right? If the way technology is moving in advances, that how we can give you, how this device can help you solve your lifestyle in a very easy way, make your health much more beneficial, right? Burning calories can here and there is not going to change a lot. But if I give you right metrics around your heart rate, right metrics around your works, today is not, yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, got it. What is the new product development process for you? How do you get the idea? Okay, let's do this. Like you did that I1, which you were telling me about. So how does that happen? How do you get an idea? How does that idea get converted into actual launch in the market?
See, there is a huge team in the R&D and tech, right? These are young people, very fascinated about the technology and creating the new products, and they understand probably now better than me kya aane wala hai, how the trend looks like. They're with the partners across the world and how the trends are moving. So there's a freedom for them to make mistakes and create products which could be the future for tomorrow. So of course, it's based on how the technology is moving around the world, and of course, what are the new innovations that are cool for us also to double. We are doing that, but in the current product line that we are already doing, which is wearable, there we are just working heavily on data. What is that consumer is using?
Which features are most used?
Yeah, so all that we are doing. Plus, again, what are the advancements that are coming, and just working